Hey everyone, welcome back to the One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the Funimation dub to the 4Kids anime. Sometimes throw in some comparisons to the manga. But yeah, we are back for episode 41 from my end. Who knows how many episodes we're on from Rom's end? Uh, but I guess before we get into that, what's been going on with you, Rom?
So I guess like in the world of One Piece, here's actually the previous week, we didn't have a chapter, but this past week we did have a chapter, and it was a pretty good chapter. Like honestly, the previous week, where we didn't have a chapter, the chapter that was released the week prior had like so much like stuff going on with it. It was like it basically kept us satisfied until like this chapter. I mean, obviously, like I think any chapter like just satisfies us, but yeah, it was just one of those things where so much stuff was happening that like we're just like, okay, cool, we can move on to like it's like, and then it's also that they need that break after going for several weeks with code. But yeah, I think like they've been consistently releasing like 3 chapters each month, so I'm guessing they're pretty close to being back. But obviously, this week they released a chapter. There isn't a another chapter. No, actually, there is another chapter released this upcoming week. So it was really good. And actually, the anime episodes. So the week prior, they didn't release an episode, but the reason was because the week prior to that was this. They ended in this like epic scene where all of the major, like not all the major characters, but like major characters of the arc. Like there's like obviously the Straw Hats that are the major characters, and then there's like major characters of the arc, and they just had this like very impactful um kind of triggering scene, and that's where that episode ended. And then uh we had that bye break, and it was perfectly timed. And then now we're having an episode this week, and the thing is, I don't think they're going to take another break for a long time because they are starting to put out teasers for episode 1000. And one of the animators, and I think he's a producer, I'm not really quite sure, but he used to work at the production crew that would do a couple of scenes and episodes, and then he just joined Toy, kind of as like a full-time guy, and doing a lot of like One Piece anime, like kind of like marketing, I guess. Like he's a One Piece fan. He's an American guy too, and so he's been kind of like tweeting out some stuff to kind of get people excited for episode 1000. So I don't think they're gonna take a break until episode 1000. I don't even think they're gonna take a break after episode 1000. I think they're gonna go to their normal, because usually I think in a year they only take maybe 5 breaks from what I remember, from what someone said. So yeah, the anime episodes were really good. Um, we broke through that one scene, and it's like a straight up war going on right now. So yeah, it's the anime has been really solid, the manga has been really solid. We're definitely kind of in the latter half of the war in the manga. The war just started in the anime, but like we're kind of like reaching kind of like a not necessarily a conclusion, but it's like we're in that third half, or we're near the climax. We're not at the climax, but we're really like right there. So yeah, so it's gonna be exciting to see how this ends, because they actually teased a move that apparently Luffy did, and they don't bother. They keep it like in an era of mystery. So I'm looking forward to where I think everyone's like looking forward to seeing what the name of the attack is going to be. But yeah, some of the yeah. So really excited about that. So that's kind of what's been going on with the anime. And how about you? How's everything going with you?
It's been going good, I guess from anime standpoint. I can't remember if I mentioned this. I I can't remember. Was it last? I think last episode we didn't even talk about what's been going on, right?
No, I think we might have missed it.
Yeah. So I finally finished watching Cowboy Bebop, the anime at least. I still need to watch the movie again. Um,
Yeah, because the live action is about to release.
yeah. So I I don't know how this always ends up happening. It's actually kind of pisses me off. Like we finish the anime and then we never watch like the movie thing. Um,
Mm.
I still need to watch the Bunny Girl Senpai movie. I really want to see that, and then we need to watch the Cowboy Bebop movie. But yeah,
Mm.
I'm gonna prioritize watching that Cowboy Bebop movie soon because that show's coming out. But either way, um, we finished the show, so a movie's a movie.
Okay.
The movie technically, though, takes place before the final episodes. Um, it's like a weird
Okay.
thing, like in between episode 23 and 24 or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm excited to watch that again. But yeah, the Cowboy Bebop, like when I first watched it, I feel like so first seeing a couple episodes on Toonami back in the day, I loved it. And then I finally just watched the entire thing, but I did a binge watch, and I
Mhm.
just remembered thinking, "Oh, it's not as good as I thought it was."
Mhm.
Um or yeah, and then like coming back and rewatching it now when I'm a little bit older too. I mean, cuz it's been over 10 years since I watched it.
Yeah.
Um, I just have a new appreciation for it. There's so many great episodes. Like that show is really good. I think you should check it out. Um,
Yeah, I have to check it out. I did see some scenes like when they were like talking when like there was like tweets about the show. I saw like someone posted a little clip of the anime scene and they're like, I can't wait for the scene to be like live action, and it was this
yeah.
really cool scene. So I do want to check it out.
The meat like the there's like a bunch of jazz music in the anime and like there's like a couple songs, random songs that are in it that are like the songs are in English. It's weird. Um, it's just like the music and the fighting in it. It's great. I really want to go back and uh watch the second season of Space Dandy because the same guy that did Cowboy Bebop also did Space Dandy, and I love Space Dandy. I think actually I watched the entire first season except for the last episode. Um,
Mhm.
but like the way Cowboy Bebop and the way like Space Dandy is structured, like none of the episodes are really they're all standalone episodes. So like
Mhm.
there's a couple episodes that will like touch on things that happened before, but a lot of it is just like a standalone episode. So that's a really cool thing about it because like if you like missed the episode the week before or whatever, it's not a big deal like when you're watching it because like everything's kind of standalone. The characters are the same, but like it's not like there's a whole arc. It's just like a standalone story each episode.
Okay, 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 okay.
So that's one thing that I really enjoy about it. But of course, there is there's a couple episodes where things come back, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like everything matters type of thing.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, yeah. Yeah, I do need to watch Cowboy Bebop the anime. I'm just wondering like whether I should watch it in sub or dubbed.
Dubbed
Um,
only. Everybody says that the dubbed is the best.
really?
Like that, the dubbed for like that is one of the animes that everybody can agree on that the dub is just like fantastic. I've never heard a single person say that the dub is terrible.
Wow. So yeah, I guess I'll have to check out the dub. Actually, that's perfect because
And
like
it
I
just
can
came to
watch it.
Netflix too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, especially with the live action coming in. That's awesome. I can finally like watch something in dubbed like during lunch and stuff. Because like the thing is like
Yeah, yeah. I know. Like, so you don't have to totally focus on the reading part too.
Yeah, no, and part of the reason it is like that is because like a lot of these like professionals who react to anime, like for instance, Dr. Mike on YouTube when he reacts to Cells at Work, or Dr. Jordan Peterson, who's like a psychologist, former current, I'm not sure, when he did like an analysis of uh Neo Genesis Evangelion, like he like I think it was all like they watched like the sub. I'm not sure if they watched the dub, but it's like when they did the live reaction, it was like all subbed.
Hmm.
So because of that, I'm just like maybe I should just watch this in sub instead of dub because there's sometimes like certain translation like some because like I guess like grammar and transition or something. I guess like it doesn't like transition well the way they say it. Like dub kind of changes some stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is good. I can like watch Cowboy Bebop on dubbed during lunch. Yeah, I've been like trying to find some show to watch because I'm just like I'm really gonna miss like I'm sure someone's gonna be like, oh no, sub's better, so I should like watch this out. But yeah, I'll have to check out Cowboy Bebop.
I will be super shocked if anybody says in the comments. Well, first of all, I'll be shocked if anyone replies in our comments. But
Yeah,
second, I'll be shocked if anybody says that this sub is better. I've never heard like I know people that are like just like just make fun of you like, oh my god, you watched the dub, you're a loser. But like anytime you
yeah,
bring up, but dude, what about the Cowboy Bebop? They're always just like, yeah, okay, that's the one exception.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it's really good. Um,
yeah.
but that's why I've mentioned it before, but I watched the movie, the Cowboy Bebop movie, like a fan sub for it. I've never actually seen the dubbed version of the movie, so I'm really wanting to see the movie because I've never seen the dubbed version of it.
Okay,
And
okay,
plus I don't remember anything because I watched the like it was a fan sub version, so like it was literally before the movie came out to the States when I watched
okay,
it.
okay,
So,
okay, okay.
but yeah, I guess we can get into the episode. Yeah. So my episode was 41, like I said earlier. The title was Switched Blades.
Switched blades. Okay, I guess this is gonna cover episode 49, but we shall see.
Okay.
Cause yeah, we shall see because I I can see how episode 50 is completely like cut off, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and there's a weird thing that happens at the beginning of this. So
Hmm.
the episode opens with Zolo following Toshigi as she's telling him that she's taking him somewhere to buy her new glasses.
Hmm.
She then says that he looks like he's loaded, jokingly, only to tell him that she's found him a nice job so that she can pay him back, or so he
Hmm.
can pay her back. The job turns out to be at a naval office, and he's the janitor cleaning up. And he complains that it's taking forever before utilizing his three broom cleaning technique, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
As he's finishing up, he notices Toshigi outside sparring. Um, and at this point, he realizes that she looks familiar to Kuina.
Okay, okay, okay. So a lot of it is similar. Obviously, like, it's not quite that. Yeah, Toshigi kind of forces Zoro to kind of follow him to the marine base. And then she's like, this is like a job you can do, and with in the Marines, you'll never run out of money. And then Zoro's like, I'm not gonna do this, and she's like, well, you gotta pay me back for my glasses or something. And yeah, same thing. He starts mopping, says it's taking too long, and uses his three broom technique to do that. One thing I do want to say is none of this happens in the manga. This is complete filler.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I was figuring
yeah,
that this episode was filler.
yeah. This is well, this part of the episode is
Oh,
filler.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, so two Navy men then walk in and ask Zolo what he's doing there, and they realize that he's Zolo. They say he's Monkey D's first mate. At this point, he slams them down with his broom, and he says, "That was a clean sweep."
Not quite. Like, I mean, yeah. They see him, they see that Zoro, and then one of the guy mentions how he's like partnered with Monkey D. Luffy, and Zoro's like, okay, and then he uses the brooms to basically knock them out, and then he's like, well, I better get out of here now. And then yeah,
Yeah, I just the the four kids, like the puns are just, they just will not stop with them, and it's hilarious. It cracks me up every time. It's almost like it's literally almost like they were like some kind of like Dragon Ball Z abridged, or you know, like how they have all those abridged animes, like where they have people like comment, like doing their own commentary over the episodes, like making fun of it. Like it's like that's what they were doing, like some of the voice
Yeah,
actors. Oh, that was a clean sweep. Like all the puns. Um,
I can see it. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, Four Kids is oriented towards. But when it came out, it was oriented towards like little kids, and it's obviously Four Kids.
yeah,
And then I guess like that's where all the dad jokes and all like the puns and everything comes in. But yeah.
yeah. So then Tashigi comes running in with two other Navy officers and asks what's going on. But Zolo is now gone. They say they don't know, but someone decked them out real fast. She sees a note that says new glasses on it. So and it has like some money in it. Zolo then is seen walking down the street thinking about how much Toshigi looks like Kuina, and he says in his head, except that her tongue is a lot sharper, like her blades. Um, he then stops at a sword shop and says that he's looking for two good swords and has 10,000 berries. The man says that that wouldn't even pay for the wax that would polish them. The dealer then
Mhm.
realizes Zolo has a sword and asks to take a look at it. He pulls it out and realizes that it's Zolo, and he becomes scared. He says that he'll buy the sword for enough money to buy three swords, and claims that, but Zolo claims that it's not for sale at any price. The dealer then offers him 800,000 berries, and Zolo still declines. At this point, Toshigi walks in asking for her polished sword and tells him thank you, and that, uh, or it tells Zolo thank you, and that someone had come by after he left and wiped the floor with some of her men. At this point, Zolo believes that she knows everything, but she just isn't saying
Oh,
it.
um, oh, okay. Okay, I think keep talking. Like continue on, and then I'll kind of like update a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so then Tashigi gives it back to him, gives the money back to him. She says that he must have quit because he realized he was bad at cleaning, and besides, she already has new glasses. Tashigi then sees the sword and realizes that that sword is known as the Wado, and it's one of the 21 greatest swords in the world. She states that it's worth over 10 million berries, and how could Zolo even afford something like that? At this point, the dealer is embarrassed and throws her sword back at her and says, "Hit the high road." He then tells Zolo to go ahead and grab two of the swords in the barrels for 50K each and head out. Tashigi comes over and asks if he's a bounty hunter like Zolo or something. Zolo asks who's that and says that he bet he's pretty good. Tashigi then says she intends to be as good as Zolo someday, to keep swords as long as she can keep swords away from the wrong people. Um, is this still around the same?
Yeah, so part of the reason I mentioned this is because yeah, so when the reason I wanted you to continue was I wanted to see if the four kids mentioned this. So basically, like yeah, so Zoro he's at the sword shop and he says he only has 100,000 berries and he's looking for two swords. And then the guy kind of waves him up, but then he sees the other sword, and then he like kind of like wants to see that sword, and then he starts trying to haggle Zoro a little bit, asking about like, hey, I'll offer you, 200,000 berries, 250, and then he's like, all right, I'll offer you 500,000 berries. But then Zoro says it's not for sale. And then at that time, yeah, Kuina comes in. Sorry, not Kuina. Tashigi comes in. Um, and then like she talks about how like she was worried about him. She doesn't know he's Zoro. She just knows him as Bison, and she's like, "Hey, I was worried about you. Someone attacked the Marine." And she just tells him that she's like, "Hey, I was worried about you. There was like someone who like basically knocked out two of the Marines, and she thought that he kidnapped Zoro too, but it looks like you escaped. And then she notices Zoro's sword, and then she's like, "Hang on a minute, I know what that is." And she pulls up her book, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is the Wado Ichimonji." I think she's like, "This is like one of the 21 Wazomodo grade swords," and she says, "This sword is worth, I think, like 10 million berries." And she says you can't possibly sell it for like 500,000 berries or something. So then the shopkeeper is like, "All right, here it is. I want you out of here for like messing with my business." And then she's like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know what was happening. Sorry about that." And then he tells Zoro, "Hey, there's like these 50k barrel swords. Go ahead, pick two of them, and um, go ahead and buy." And this scene is actually canon. Like this is actually what happens in the manga. Like Zoro doesn't go to the Marine base. He just walks around and then he sees the sword shop. He goes in, and that's when like Tashigi actually comes in.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, she doesn't like immediately after he broke the glasses. Like she says that she has new glasses or something. But yeah, so this scene is actually in the manga. What happens right now, all this interaction is actually there. So then, yeah, she goes and she's like, why do you need two extra swords? There's this bad guy named Roronoa Zoro. He's a bounty hunter." Um, and then she talks about how she wants to basically get all the Wazamono grade swords um, away from like bad people. And then Zoro talks about how like, "Oh, are you gonna take my sword away from me, or the Wadawichi Moji?" And then she's like, "Hey, I don't mean to like cause trouble. I just don't want swords going to bad people." And yeah, I think that's where you're at right now. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so at this point, Zolo's looking through the swords, and Toshigi notices another sword that is one of the top three swords in the world, and she says it's worth 1 million berries, that he should pick it up. The dealer then seems shocked and embarrassed again and says he can't have that one. Zolo looks at it and says, "Oh, it's because it's cursed, right?" And the dealer replies, "Yes. Um, all a man had to do is carry it, and it would send him to his righteous doom, and he'd never find a swordsman who'd ever use it." Zolo says he likes it, and the dealer says he can't sell it because it would, he would lose reputation if he died, and he did not want to destroy it because it was cursed. Um, then uh, the dealer's mom comes in and slaps him on the head and tells him to sell it already. Zolo says, "Let's test it. We'll find out who's stronger, his bad luck or the curse." To which he throws the sword up in the air, and it flies up in the air, landing straight to the ground. At this point, he decides that he will take it. Um,
Wait, does he hold out his arm?
yes, he holds out his arm, but it lands into the floor. So he throws it like, I guess he's trying to see if it pierces him.
Mhm.
Is that what he was trying to do? I thought he was gonna catch it, but it just lands through like on the floor.
Did they see the scene where the sword just goes around his arm?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't hit his arm, but it like goes around his arm and lands on like into the floor.
Oh, okay. Cool. I just wanted to see
Yeah.
if they did. Yeah, so I guess like in mine, yeah, pretty much all of it's very similar. So yeah, as they're looking for swords, excuse me, he grabs one sword, he feels like a weird kind of vibe with it.
Yeah, he
As
kind of
like
looks at it and like it like shines a weird way or whatever.
Yeah, and then immediately Tashigi points out how it's the Kitetsu third sword, one of the 21 was one of great swords, and then she says that it's worth 2 million berries, and then she asks the shopkeeper, "Hey, are you really selling this for 50,000?" And then the shopkeeper's like, "That one's not for sale," or sorry, he can't sell it because yeah, like you mentioned, it's like cursed and stuff. And so yeah, and then yeah, a lot of it's very similar. And then the guy shopkeeper talks about how like a lot of people who's had it all, it's basically led them to their peril. Zoro talks about how yeah, this sword is well, he says this sword is cursed, and then um that's when the guy explains how all these people died. And then Tashigi then apologizes for like telling him to buy it and stuff. And then Zoro says, "Hey, um, let's see who's stronger. It's bad. It's like it's evil's tried or my good luck." And then he tosses it, and then it comes down, and then it like so like yeah, basically he was basically testing to see if it was going to chop off his arm.
Oh, okay.
and and then right near as it gets to his arm, you see just go like basically around his arm and then fall into the floors. And then he just looks up and he says, "I'll take it." And then they both Tashigi and the shopkeeper um all fall down. But actually, it's not the shopkeeper's mom; it's his wife.
Oh, and this one it's his mom.
Oh no, it's his wife.
Cause yeah, okay, whoa, wow, yeah, cause he says she's yeah, well, it's his mom in this, but okay,
Okay, fine.
that's weird. Um, all right, so both the dealer at this point and Toshigi almost pass out. Azolo asks Toshigi to find another one. The dealer then runs to a room and tells him he won't find the sword anywhere else, and this is his best one. Zolo says, "Well, I can't afford it." The dealer, and so it seems like the dealer's lying and says, "Don't worry, he feels bad about lying earlier, and that his blade has chosen him." Just the way he's talking, it seems like he's lying. But then at
Mhm.
this point, we just see Zolo walk out with all the three swords, and the dealer's mom says, "Why did you give away that ancient family treasure?" And that he's stupid and he should shut up and take out the garbage.
So it's not quite like that. So yeah, basically Zoro tells Tashigi to go like help him look for another sword, since he's like, "Oh, you're good at this" or something. So then they start looking at it, and he's and the shopkeeper's like, "Hey, um, wait." And then he goes into the back and he grabs this, and then he says, "This is the best sword I have in my shop." Zoro's like, "Well, I can't afford it," and he's like, "Don't worry, this is on the house. You can actually keep that one too." At which point his wife was like, "You don't take me out to fancy restaurants or buy me big things, but you're willing to give up that." The new sword that he gives Zoro is called the Yubashiri. And yeah, he kind of describes the Yubashiri. And then he basically talks about how it's been a while since he saw like a great swordsman like Zoro around town. So yeah, he's like, "I can take these two swords for free."
I'm really curious why they changed it from his wife to his mom. That's funny, but okay.
I mean, the hairline too. Like, how can you look at the hairline? I mean, there is no hairline. He's almost bald at like little patches here and there. I don't know how like that can be his mom, considering he looks so old already.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Who
Yeah.
knows? Um, but yeah, so
Was her hair like white? Was it painted
no,
white?
no,
It's red.
yeah,
Okay, wow. Okay, okay. I mean, all right.
but I don't know. In a way, I kind of find it funnier that it was his mom.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so uh, yeah, so at this point, Tashigi says that it's his and that she's glad. And then it awakens, Luffy awakens and says, "Now where are those gallows?" We then see Buggy, the woman from the last episode, uh, with the cowboy hat, with Richie, and Buggy is seen telling Richie and his masked rider uh, to go get Luffy and make it snappy. Um, Luffy then continues to search for the gallows as Buggy walks by, searching for him. Luffy then, like, they're both looking in the same exact place for, Buggy's looking for Luffy, and Luffy's looking for the gallows. Luffy then says, "Where are those gallows?" And Buggy points him into the correct direction. And as Luffy's walking away, Buggy realizes that he was talking to Luffy. Um, we then see. Okay, so this, like, I don't. I mean, it's been granted, it's been a while, but I really don't remember Buggy being as stupid as he is. He's just like a complete idiot. Like I don't like he's like even stupider now than he was before, I guess.
He's the comic relief, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the same thing kind of happened where Luffy and Buggy are just looking at the scene and he notices them. So yeah, that scene is pretty similar. But yeah, I mean, he is the comic relief. He does a lot of goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he is definitely the comic relief, and it's funny the stuff that he gets into later in the
Honestly like he's like the villain version of Luffy in a way.
yeah, dude. It's I don't know when to properly say this, but like Buggy's journey is definitely like it's comical. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Um so we then see Chaser in his room saying he'll soon show up and that he'll be waiting right there. Tashigi walks in as two of the other officers are walking in, telling Chaser they have news. They tell Chaser that the man who knocked them out was Zolo. Tashigi acts shocked, to which Chaser says, "First bring him Luffy." Luffy then says he's almost there and he has to see Gold Roger's last view from the top of the gallows. Zolo seen outside staring at that cursed sword as Luffy walks up and tells him that's a cool looking sword. Zolo asks what he's doing and he says looking for the gallows, to which Zolo says, "Didn't you already find them?" And Luffy says yes, but he's lost them again. All of a sudden, we see a woman walk up behind Sanji saying that she's been looking for him. It turns out to be a woman in red with pink hair that kind of looks like it's sticking up in the air, like another anime, kind of like Goku, a character you know absolutely nothing about. Um,
Yeah.
but it's sticking up like this famous anime character named Goku. Uh,
Okay. I mean, I've seen the hairstyles of Dragon Ball Z, even though I've
yeah.
never seen the show or one episode. Yeah, I know the hairstyles of that. Um,
Actually, to be honest, well, yeah, I guess it's more sticking up like the Super Saiyan Goku, not regular
yeah.
Goku. But yeah. So is this in the same episode or is this in another episode?
This is in a completely different episode because they completely skipped on Usopp's filler arc. Because again, like so like what's happening right now is all filler. Like
Yeah.
there isn't like a scene where Luffy gets lost or runs into Zoro and then while Zoro's looking at his sword that doesn't happen. Like so basically like Luffy doesn't run and say he's lost or something. That's not like what like all this is filler. So they actually completely, and I can see why they did cut out this filler. So actually, what happens is, and I'll do like a quick recap of the filler,
Okay.
and I understand completely why they cut out this filler. But um, basically, to do a quick recap of the filler, basically, yeah, Zoro and Luffy, they're talking on the side, and then in the background there's all these like what actually happens earlier in the episode is that when Smoker is kind of like talking with some Marines about how they'll come in, there's actually this character, again all filler, there's this character, a filler character comes in named it's like Daddy the master sniper master son or something, I forget um what the name is. It's like, but he's basically like this like legendary basically Smoker talks about how he joined the Marines with Smoker, and he was one of the best like sharpshooters in the Marines, but now he's just like a cleaner in Logtown, and he's like how he's fallen a lot. And then yeah, so we're back at the thing where Luffy is talking with Zoro, and then he walks up, and then all these guys surround him talking about how um like he took their friends, the pirates, and then immediately as they're about to shoot him, like you just hear you it zooms out into the clouds, and then and then you hear shots, and then basically Daddy the Masters, and he basically shoots all those guys except one, and he tells the one kid like, "Hey, go to your mommy before supper's ready" or something, and he runs away. And then Zoro's like, "Yeah, that's Daddy the Master Son, bounty hunter." Um, and Luffy's like very like excited because he was like, oh, this guy's so cool, and then they go about their ways. And the reason why I mentioned this is because the next scene, we see Usopp going to the shop, going to like a shop to go buy like a bunch of stuff, and that's actually canon. Like in the actual manga, Usopp does go to a trinket store to buy all these like slingshots and goggles and stuff. And then he basically, but in the anime, he's like, well, I'm missing two. Just I'm almost complete. He goes to this one trinket shop and he sees these goggles that he really likes, and this slingshot. But then he looks around for his for money, and then he's like, oh no. And then he's like, remembers that his wallet is in his bag. It's like this huge bag that he's lunging around with all these like trinkets that he's bought. But as he's like running towards, this little girl comes in, and then she says, oh, I want to buy that. And then she goes ahead and she buys it. And then Usopp is like, "Hey, little girl, I really need that. I really want that and stuff. Just hand it over or something." And right at that part, Daddy the Masterson comes in. I'm just gonna call him Daddy from now on, okay? Because it's like Daddy and Masterson, but I'm just not quite sure how the thing is. But basically, like, he basically challenges Usopp to a duel, and a duel, basically three people, and so like they walk three steps, they turn
Hmm.
around, shoot. And so yeah, and when this duel happens, Nami, like, basically he like basically he do the three steps, but then Usopp cowers, and then Nami calls out Usopp, and then when Usopp tries to escape, Daddy Masterson shoots him, but he intentionally misses him. But yeah, Nami calls out Usopp, and then he talks about how he knows Usopp's dad Yasop, and actually, when he was in the Marines, he actually dueled Yasop, but Yasop shot him. But he didn't kill him, and Yasop tells him, "Hey, I have a kid of my own. I have a family of my own." He's like, "Hey, go be with your family." Or he just like says, I'm a pirate. I don't have to kill you. I don't have to follow any rules. I'm a pirate. And he goes ahead and lets him live, and talks about how he has, when he sees a little locket with his daughter's picture, he's like, yeah, I have a son too. And he goes away. And when Usopp hears this, he's like, well, I got to put my reputation on the line when he says all this about my dad. So then he says, give me one last shot. And then the Daddy Masterson, he's like, sure. He points a gun at Usopp's head, and he points his finger at like um this little wind chime thing, little rooster wind chime thing that
Hmm.
when wind blows, it kind of rocks back and forth. He's like, I'll give you one shot. You have to hit that rooster shot, and you hit it, you live, you miss it, you die, because she's pointing at him. And then even the little girl is like, well, he can't make that shot. And then Usopp's like, sure, fine. And then he pulls back his slingshot, and then he lets it go. And then you see the thing still like swinging back and forth. So Nami and the little girl thought he missed the shot, and then the little girl tells her father, Daddy Masterson, to not kill him. And then he's like, I can't kill him, he made the shot. And he said he got it through the crown. And you zoom in, and then he actually, there's this little crown, and then it's like there's a hole right in the middle that Usopp shot through.
Oh
And
wow.
he Yeah, and then Daddy Masterson tells Usopp, "Hey, you're as good a shot as your dad is." And the little girl gives Usopp the goggles that he wanted to buy. And yeah, so again, all of that is filler, but they cut out that filler. But the scene where he goes to the shop to go buy those things, he actually does buy those things. The little girl isn't there; she's completely filler, all that. So yeah, but yeah, it was just this complete filler episode that I guess they cut out because the dual gun pointing at his head.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess they didn't want to
yeah.
change the gun to something else.
Yeah, but yeah, the scene with Sanji getting confronted by this girl is completely, yeah, it's also filler, but yeah, it is in the episode. It's just in a different episode.
Okay. So yeah, this woman with the red woman in red and with pink hair, she's holding a knife in her mouth, and she has two men with her. Uh, reveal her to be Carmen, the best chef in the East Blue. She says that she's so hot they call her Five Alarm Carmen.
Mm.
Then this dude with a giant looking chin says he's Carmen's number one assistant Leo. Another dude with a rounded face that looks like he has pitch black eyes reveals himself to be Jose, and we realize that those are not his eyes; those are his nose, or
Yeah.
it's his like nostrils as his eyes peek out of his face.
Yeah.
Um, they all appear to be of like some kind of Latin origin. As Zolo says, "Wow, what a hot tamale," which is okay. And the crowd screams, "Sizzling!" For some reason, Sanji then says he's never seen such a beautiful dish, and she's the girl of his dreams, and he tries to kiss her hand. She then tells him to piss off and slams him in the face with a cast iron skillet. I don't know if she's like I don't know if she says piss off or if she says something else, but it seriously sounds like she tells him to piss off.
Yeah, yeah, she said something similar to that. They really chopped up these episodes together because I don't think Zoro actually sees her or says hot tamale. Um, because I think the scene where he says hot tamale, I think that cut off is where he actually says, "Yep, that's Danny Masterson, the bounty hunter or something."
Oh
I
my
think they
god.
chopped up that and redubbed it to say hot tamale instead. But yeah, no, yeah, the pan where she hits him with the pen, that's actually all like what happens. Again, filler, but yeah.
Yeah. So Sanji then says that he's been panned and calls her Cupcake and asks how she knew his name. Um, to which
Does she
she,
speak with a Spanish accent?
huh?
Does she speak with like a Spanish accent or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah,
I was just one curious. Okay.
yeah. Um, and so she tells her assistants to fill him in. They hand Sanji a stack of cards, um, on what seems to be like a pizza platter. Uh, Sanji then says they are like baseball cards, but only for chefs, and they reveal that they have all competed against Carmen before and got cooked. She then reveals that she's the best cook of the East Blue and that no one could outcook her until she found a newspaper article about the Roddy floating restaurant and it said that the best chef was him. She says she felt like a sunken souffle and her reputation was burned by a low-life lollipop sucker.
Mm.
She then says she's been looking for him for 10 years, and then her assistants reveal that Carmen is a fibber, a liar, liar, pants on fire. Um, she then slams them with her iron skillet and calls them worthless toadstools. As Sanji looks on confused, she then points a finger at him and challenges him to a duel at 1 o'clock. She says she'll toast his oats and griddle his grits, and they will soon see who's the best. She then exits by forming some sort of tornado into the air, only to fall back into her assistant's arms, like all dizzy from her exit. They then run away with her and say that they need to get her to the spin doctor, like yet another ridiculous pun.
Mm.
Uh, and Sanji glares up with his eyes as hearts and begins to talk to her, but she's gone. Some old lady then asks if he's going to compete, to which he says, "No, I compete for love, not trophies." And then he
Mm.
walks away.
So, a lot of that is, I mean, again, filler, but like a lot of that is what happens in the show, but like it's not like a one-on-one. She talks about how like she basically challenges him to, join the food like cooking competition later in the day, and then Sanji's like, yeah, no, I'm not really interested in competitions or something. So then, he just walks away. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so, but this does she know that he says that he's not interested in the competition?
No, 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 no. She's
Oh,
like
okay,
long gone. Someone,
got it.
someone
Yeah,
just mentions to Sanji, "Hey, so are you gonna join the cooking competition later in the day?" And he's like, "No, I'm not interested in that kind of thing." So,
gotcha. Uh, so we then see Buggy in a restaurant, chopping away at food, as he says to Moji that they need to find Luffy so they can stop wearing these stupid disguises. that is Moji, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had to go back and look who it was because it's been so long. But Moji then says, "Why not stop wearing them now?" To which Buggy replies that Captain Chaser will lock them up and the pirates will toss away the keys. We then see Luffy and Zolo at the same restaurant eating as Luffy is comically fat, and Zolo says that he's glad he ran into him because he didn't have any money left. Luffy realizes that he also doesn't have any money, and Zolo begins to choke on his drink and scream, "Say what?" Zolo then says, well, they'll probably have to clean the dishes, but Luffy says no. Zolo asks, well, then what are they going to do? As which Luffy asks if he says, oh, well, we'll just ask if they'll let us have the food. At this time, Buggy is slamming his hand on the table with a sack of money, yelling that they need to find Luffy. He slams his hand so hard that it catapults a sack of money off of a spoon and flies into the air and lands on Luffy's hat. Luffy then
Mm,
finds the money and tells the person behind him thanks for treating them to dinner as they give him like back the money sack and walk out. Buggy then realizes it was them and runs out of the bar screaming, "Wait, it's them!" We then see Richie looking stupidly behind a tree for Luffy. Um, and then Luffy and Zolo begin to walk some more as Luffy's hat gets blown off by the wind.
mm. Um, yeah, so basically, yeah, Luffy's like, comically fat, and Zoro is also like Thurston. Yeah, Zoro talks about how he doesn't like have any money, and Luffy's like, yeah, he doesn't have any money either. And then Zoro's like, well, how are we gonna pay for it? And then Luffy's like, well, maybe we just won't pay or something. At which point, yeah, Buggy like is like all angry about needing to find Luffy, and he just like smacks his table over and over, and then the money bag lands on the fork, and he slangs it, and then like he hits it, and then the money bag falls on top of Luffy's hat, and a little gold coin comes out, and he's like, cool. And then he gives the money back to Buggy, and he's like, hey, you don't need to give us all this money. Thanks for paying the food. And then so also, hey, thanks. And then yeah, they leave, and then and then they pay and leave, and then Buggy's like, hey, I recognize that voice. And then I think it's Kabaji with Richie. He basically talks about how like, oh yeah, that was the straw hat, and then he's like, go after him, you idiot. And then you see Richie like all scared in the side, um and then yeah, they just kind of go about, and yeah, Luffy as Luffy and Zoro are walking again, like so it's like so out of sync. But yeah, basically in this, like, yeah, Luffy's hat falls out, and he starts chasing the hat, and then Zoro just kind of gets goes off in his own way. But yeah.
Yeah, so at this time, you know, Luffy runs to chase after his hat. Zolo begins to search for him. Luffy uh, hat then falls right in front of the gallows, and Luffy exclaims, "All right!" At the same time, Buggy's crew and Chaser's crew both inform each other separately that Luffy is at the gallows. So then they, they're both starting to say, "All right, let's go get him." And at the very end of the episode, Luffy says, "Wow, Gold Roger's last view, what a sight and what a way to go." And then the episode ends.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I guess like that's where we'll end this episode too, because
Yeah,
yeah, basically the hat flies off, and it kind of takes Luffy to the center of the town where the platform where Gold Roger was killed was, and then he's like, oh cool, and then he goes up to the top of the platform. And yeah, that's when basically Smoker's crew and Buggy's crew start to go after Luffy, and yeah.
yeah, I think that's a really good end to this episode, regardless of how much they cut out. I mean, it's a great ending because they're both separately going to be showing up and coming after him.
Yeah, so this is actually not where the episode ends in mine.
Oh, wow.
A lot of things happen, but I do want to save it off until you watch the next episode,
Okay.
because I am curious to see if they show the next few scenes in Four Kids. Because actually, the thing is, the next few scenes is so influential. for certain things. So yeah, I'm interested to see if they do show it in 4 Kids. So yeah.
We shall see. Let me pull up this thing again. Technically, I only got 2 more episodes left, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I guess like we're kind of in the middle. I mean, there's based on where we're at right now, there's only one more episode left.
Yeah,
In my
if you want to figure out what's going on from the titles alone, my next episode's name is Sanji Sizzles, and then the episode after that is called Buggy's Back.
Oh, oh, wow.
So do you think they might
Wow,
be
dude,
cutting it
you're
out?
really
Well,
chopping stuff out all weird, man.
so
Like,
we can talk about it next episode, but wow, I guess you're.
yeah, yeah, they're
Yeah, it's
definitely
so
chopping
weird to
stuff out
me
of
that
whack.
the final episode is called Buggy's Back when he's already been back. I mean, maybe Buggy's back mean it's like the back of Buggy. I don't know. But
I'm really shocked that they went with that title. I mean, I can see why, but I'm really shocked that they didn't go with another title, which we'll talk about in the next episode. But yeah, yeah,
all right, well, thanks for listening, everyone. I guess we'll end it there, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
yep.
Later, everyone.
Right, thanks.
Bye.